Almost every traveler coming to the Philippines will at some point pass through Cebu City. When I came to Cebu City for the first time, we just used it as a place to withdraw money and prepare for the next leg of our trip. Well, that and checking out its huge malls. This is pretty normal for travelers passing through, but did you know there's actually a lot more to do and see in Cebu City than you may have ever expected? Today I want to show you why you may want to reconsider skipping through the city in only a day or two. This is We Wonders, 7 Wonders of Cebu City. First of all, note that everything I'll talk about today is legitimately within the borders of Cebu City, but there's also a ton to do and see in nearby municipalities. Things like hiking Mount Manunggol and Mount Mauyog, the famous Garden of Buwakan ni Alejandra, Waterworld Cebu, or the resorts of Lapu-Lapu are all easily accessible from the city as well, but they will not be included today since they don't fall within Cebu City's municipal borders. There's always more to find when traveling somewhere like the Philippines, so if we miss your favorite spot in Cebu City, tell us about it in the comments so others can see it and check it out. Links to videos about everything covered here today will be in the description if you want more information about any particular location. Without further ado, let's get started with 3 honorable mentions that just missed the top 7. Little Amsterdam of Cebu and Surao Pictorial Garden are actually 2 separate spots that are located literally right next to each other. They're both gardens that have been set up to be perfect for Instagram lovers to get unique shots. Both gardens are pretty similar and honestly should be visited back to back. No point in going to one and not the other. These spots are pretty well known in Cebu City, so you absolutely won't have them all to yourself. They're fun to visit, but when it comes to gardens, they aren't actually my favorite in Cebu City, which is why they're only an honorable mention. Tops and La Vie in the Sky. It may come as a surprise to some of you that this is only an honorable mention. Tops, or Top of Cebu, is basically the premier mountain viewpoint of Cebu City. What's nice about it is that you can easily drive all the way to the top. No hiking required, and the view is absolutely breathtaking, especially at sunset. But it's often pretty crowded, especially on weekends, so keep that in mind. I actually prefer Top's neighbor, La Vie in the Sky. This French-inspired restaurant is honestly just a joy to explore, but they also have almost the same view as Top's, along with some pretty fantastic food. Temple of Leia is another super famous spot when it comes to Cebu City. Most travelers who take the time to explore the city's tourist spots will probably come here. I actually like it better than Top's, even though its view isn't as high up. Temple of Leia just straight up looks like it doesn't belong. No one would think this is in the Philippines when they first lay eyes on it. While that is its biggest selling point, it's also pretty fun just walking around the temple and reading its surprising history, as well as, of course, snapping a few pictures to make your friends think you had a layover in Greece. With those out of the way, let's jump into the 7 wonders of Cebu City. These are the spots that should not be missed during your stay in Cebu City. 7. Cebu Ocean Park. It's an aquarium. Yeah, that's true. But Cebu Ocean Park is actually the biggest aquarium in all of the Philippines. When we visited Cebu Ocean Park, we honestly didn't expect much, but ended up having a fantastic time. It's actually somewhere I wouldn't mind returning to. They have a few different activities you can do outside of just viewing the aquarium. I know Izai still wants to have a close encounter with a crocodile. I do realize not everyone wants to spend a lot of time and money getting to the Philippines just to spend a day at an aquarium, which is why it's number 7. But if you have any interest in something like this, it's well worth seeing. 6. Mangasang Falls. Located in Barangay Tagbao, Mangasang Falls may not be the tallest waterfall in Cebu City, but it's absolutely one of the most fun. We found our guides going to the waterfall to be very helpful and fun to be around. They really stood out compared to guides at other spots we visited. The hike back is actually pretty adventurous. It's half the fun, honestly. The waterfall itself has a big pool for swimming and is pretty easy to climb. Note that the water is not normally brown. It had recently rained when we visited. If you like bite-sized adventures, this shouldn't be missed. 5. Terrazas de Flores. My personal favorite garden in Cebu City, Terrazas de Flores, may not look as shocking as some gardens in Cebu, but it feels the most genuine. Where the Surao gardens feel like they were built almost solely for Instagram, Terrazas de Flores actually feels more like a really nice little park. We spent hours exploring this place, from the terraces to their Japanese-style bridges and everything in between. There's actually a lot more to see and do than it would seem from the outside. To top it all off, their restaurant is actually really good as well. If you love gardens, or even just parks in general, I highly recommend spending some time at Terrazas de Flores. 4. Linut Ud Falls. This is a super underrated waterfall located in Barangay Tap-Tap. Getting to the falls is actually pretty easy, just a quick hike from the road. But when we went, we totally missed a turn and ended up walking way out of the way. Though honestly, getting lost in an area like this isn't that bad. The whole place is pretty beautiful. When we did eventually make it to Linut Ud Falls, we were honestly really impressed. I hate to say this, but video really can't do this spot justice. The beautiful blue waterfall feels a lot bigger in person. This spot isn't well known at all. Chances are high that you could have it all to yourself, even on weekends. 3. Lakeview Le Jardin. Located in Barangay Tabunan, Lakeview Le Jardin stands out in so many ways. First, there's the obvious, the lakeview itself. Far off in the distance, seated in a valley between two mountains, you have a clear view of Lake Malubog in Toledo, Cebu. The view honestly feels like a painting or something from a Disney movie. Possibly even better than the view is their food. Yes, this spot is actually a restaurant, and the food is legitimately fantastic. They seriously serve some of the best food I've had in Cebu, period. I'm still hoping for a chance to go back soon and try something else on their menu. I'm pretty confident it's all great. Finally, Lakeview Le Jardin also holds a garden that is supposedly very beautiful. Unfortunately, we were unable to film it or even see it, as it had recently been destroyed by a typhoon right before we visited. When we were there, the staff told us they're currently fixing the garden and it should be open in March 2022. So when you visit, it should be back up and running. 2. Himbabawod Falls. This waterfall is legitimately awesome. Not just the waterfall itself, but the hike back as well. To get to Himbabawod Falls, you actually end up passing by multiple smaller waterfalls. The whole path back to the falls is beautiful, but it's also kind of long and pretty confusing if you don't know where you're going. We would recommend looking for a guide, but it's not always easy to find one. We were unable to secure a guide before heading out and had to figure it out mostly on our own until the very end, when we managed to find someone to help us. The waterfall itself is once again much taller than it looks on video. It's probably one of the most peaceful waterfalls we visited. Not many people know about it, and even less are willing to hunt it down. If you're feeling up for an adventure, then it really shouldn't be missed. While Himbabawod Falls is extremely beautiful and peaceful, there's still one other spot in Cebu City we feel stands out just a little bit more. That spot is Budlaan Falls. Budlaan Falls is, simply put, the best spot we've seen so far in Cebu City. The main waterfall is legitimately breathtaking, especially if you take the river trek to find it. Seeing it from afar literally left me speechless. Getting to Budlaan Falls is actually pretty easy, at least compared to the other waterfalls on this list. You actually have two options: the mountain trek or the river trek. We recommend taking the river trek in and the mountain trek out. The mountain trek is shorter and more straightforward, but the river trek offers you 2 additional falls on the way, as well as getting the breathtaking view of Budlaan Falls from afar. We also noticed when flying the drone that there seems to be another waterfall a bit upstream, but we didn't take the time to visit it that day, though we could see others swimming there on the drone, so it may be worth trying to find. If you like waterfalls, without a doubt, you need to visit Budlaan Falls while in Cebu City. It isn't hard to find, and it's well worth seeing. Don't forget, we left links in the description to the individual videos we made on all these spots if you want to see any in more detail. If we missed your favorite spot in Cebu City, please let us know about it in the comments. If you like this, we've done other 7 Wonders videos in Cebu, as well as a few other islands. You can see that playlist on your screen now. Don't forget to subscribe and keep wondering.